G'day, welcome back to the channel. Now if you live in the USA, you should be worried because today the US government effectively cut off supply lines for many of the components that drone and RC model flyers rely on to enjoy their hobby. This is nothing to do with the DJI ban that comes into effect tomorrow. This is a ban imposed through the FCC by putting things on what's called the covered list. A covered list is a list of prohibited imports effectively. And the FCC announced today that it is effectively banning most of the good stuff that people would be importing from overseas to build their drones and radio-controlled model aircraft. They call it UAS and critical components. The reasons for this ban is as follows. They believe that these components or UAS systems pose an unacceptable risk to the national security of the USA or the security and safety of US persons. So what's on this list? What are the components that are being banned? You might be surprised. They're banning data transmission devices, communications systems, flight controllers, ground control stations, navigation systems, batteries, motors, sensors and cameras, amongst a few other things. Think about that for a moment. Let's look at the most basic thing, batteries. Almost the entire hobby has gone electric. And that relies on lithium polymer batteries, lipo batteries, you know, your 4S packs and your 6S packs. They're now banned for import. You cannot import them. Do you know of a company in America that actually makes them at an affordable price if they do? I'm not aware of any. So suddenly there'll be no more imports of lipo batteries into the USA because they are on the covered list. It'd be illegal to import these devices. Other things, motors. So there are companies setting up in the USA at the moment to make brushless motors, but they are few and far between and their output will be limited. So when you need 4 new motors for your quadcopter or a new motor for your fixed wing model, where are you going to get it? You won't be able to get a Chinese one. And the thing is, it's not just China. This ban doesn't apply to China. It's every country outside the USA. You may not import from anywhere any of these items as of the 22nd of December 2025 in the USA. It's a very deathly blow to the hobby we love and enjoy so much. If I'm reading this all correctly, and I concede I may have missed something, but I've spoken to others who are in a position to know, and they agree that this is a devastating blow to the hobby because the hobby has become so reliant on imports. This isn't the 1960s where K&B made all the engines and Kraft made the radio gear. No. A lot of the stuff, even the stuff you buy locally, has components like this sourced from overseas. And you can't get those components anymore. They're not allowed to be imported. Now this may not affect stuff that's already certified by the FCC, things such as existing like radio transmitters and equipment like that it's already got FCC certification. They don't say they're revoking anything, but they're not issuing new certifications. But the problem is that things like lipo batteries were never certified. So they can't rely on previous certification to continue import. And there's generally an exemption from certification for batteries, except if they're on the covered list. So there's not even an implied certification anymore. If it's on the covered list, you may not import it from anywhere. It's a devastating blow. As I say, devastating blow. I don't know where the hobby goes from here. It's not an unexpected turn of events though, because for a long time we've seen that ever since the Commercial Drone Alliance managed to get Section 336 overturned and the AMA in America just said, oh, we don't care, just give us special treatment and we'll support anything you do, FAA. Ever since that happened, the writing's been on the wall. The hobby, there's no place for this hobby anymore. No place for it because there's a lot of money to be made and the justification of national security can be used to do anything. People will give up their privacy, they'll give up their rights in the name of safety. That's exactly what's happening here. Let me remind you again, the justification for doing this, the US government has said, it's because these things, a brushless motor or a 6S lipo, pose an unacceptable risk to the national security of the USA or to the security and safety of US persons. How is a brushless motor made in China any more dangerous than one made in the USA? It's not. This is smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. There are other agendas at play here. But it's a convenient one because no one can argue against improved security, can they? I don't know where you go in America, in the USA. Where does the hobby go from here? Are we going to go back to flying control line with Cox motors? All American made? I don't know. I really do not know. Fortunately, balsa wood doesn't seem to be on this list. Maybe they'll add it later. But, if I've made a mistake, then please tell me in the comments. If you think I got this wrong, challenge me down there. I'll put links to the various news stories and other documentation I've got on which I've based my opinions and my news in this video, because maybe I've read it wrong, but as I say, other people, other experts in the field agree. This is really bad, really bad. And I've got to be honest, I lay the blame at the feet of the AMA. When Section 336 was challenged by the Commercial Drone Alliance, the AMA just rolled over, didn't really do anything to push back against it. And since then, they haven't even lobbied to say, our model aircraft are not the same as camera drones from China. We shouldn't be regulated like camera drones from China. But they didn't even do that. The FAA said, we'll give you special concessions if you just, support our rules. And the AMA said, yeah, fine. Yeah, we're in for special concessions, anything that'll boost our membership because people want to fly to Freya. I don't know. And believe me, this is not the end of the story, because where the US goes, the rest of the world follows. That's how things generally work. And so I suspect that other nations will fall into line. It may be that they'll start lifting some of the import bans on countries that agree to follow where they've gone. There's a lot of pressure. America can put huge amounts of pressure on other Western nations. So I think this is one of the milestones in the decline of our hobby, because nobody gets off their fat bums and stands up to protect. I do my best. I'm one person. I'm on the backside of the planet. There's only so much I can do. And I do the best I can. I really, at this stage, I've got to thank, and I think you should thank too, the people who kindly support my efforts on Patreon. Without Patreon, I wouldn't be able to do this. So YouTube pays diddly squat. And after Christmas, it pays nothing. I'm making videos for free after Christmas because there's no money in it. I put my passion for the hobby ahead of all that stuff. And it's only through kind people who make donations through Patreon that I can continue doing this and avoid having to fill you up with sponsor segments and mid-roll ads and good AI slop and all that crap. You've just got a genuine, honest creator with a passion trying to do what he can to protect and promote the hobby. In the face of adversity, it would seem. So anyway, comments please. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Leave a like, it'll help the algorithm. And I'll bring follow-ups to this if I get more information, if new information comes to light. I can't wait to see what the AMA's got to say about this one, if anything. Thanks for watching, people. I'll be back before Christmas. So much going on. I'll try and keep you informed. In the meanwhile, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.